Hello and welcome to the October edition of Made in Lincoln UK. This is a social interactive documentary video magazine programme reflecting and promoting Lincoln District life and events.
Hello there, my name is Phil Bowman. Welcome to Gallery at St Martin's and to a group exhibition featuring various artists from the county. This is the latest painting of mine. It's an acrylic painting. It's called Lazy Days, and it's of a little Greek island called Symi, a very dilapidated wrecked boat which somebody's obviously cherished and wants to get back on the water. This painting's a year or so old now. It's a little boatyard in Turkey called the town's called Salimi on the Turkish coast, and they're just amazing boat builders in that part of the world. It's a dying art, so I was pleased to take some rough sketches and photos and work this back in the studio when I got back to England. This is a still life which I rescued from the back of my rejects cupboard. I do like to try and rescue paintings a lot of the time rather than just simply paint over them. So I was quite pleased how this turned out, using the Christmas gift wrapping paper as quite an abstract, colourful shape cutting across the back of the more representational objects, and probably the hint of a wooded garden in the background. So it's a lot looser and a lot less tighter than it started out. This is a painting by Janice Cock, my mentor if you like, Janice. She was responsible for kicking my backside and getting me to take my work more seriously. This is a painting by Malcolm Coward. Malcolm's a very established representational equestrian painter, but he joins in my life drawing sessions, and he'll probably do a panel or 2 or 3 panels in a day's session. Another painting of Carolina by Malcolm. Again, this was probably painted in half a session, or maybe worked again back in the studio. This is a painting by Jane Freeman, very free, textured abstract painting, concentrating on the blues. Actually, it literally is singing the blues. This is work by Lynn Lovett. Lynn's a ceramicist and a painter. 3 totally different bowls. Brilliant use of free design, especially in the centre bowl of the. Right, this is a lino print by myself. It was printed in Alison Reed's studio, who's a cracking printmaker technician. It's produced the easy way by taking the lino out of the main block rather than leaving it raised up and making a thin black line. But I'm quite pleased with the simplicity and the way it worked. This is a work by Alan Abbey. It's showing a 360-degree view of Castle Square. This is lino printing the hard way, where you're leaving a thin line and taking away the rest of the lino. Alan's become quite expert in doing multicolour work as well as very intricate black and white pictures. This is a piece called Making Waves. It was done initially as a demo for my Wednesday afternoon painting group. So it's painted in acrylic, but it's painted on a background of quite a nice ochre brown, and worked quite wet and to wet, which is having to work very, very quick with acrylic because obviously it dries very quickly. But it's quite representational for me. It's a little bit different to what I normally do. But I quite like the little abstract parts of it, especially that area there, which I think could lead me on to make another painting. Also this awkward spurt of water here, which I was very, very tempted to paint out. But I'm hanging on to it. Sometimes it's nice to have something that jars in a painting. This is an old painting of mine of central Minorca. Unusual for me, the source material was a small photograph given to me by a friend. I didn't actually visit this place, but I took a lot of license from it, and it became really more about the patterns of the fields and exaggerating the colours and the movement in the fields.
The Lincoln Castle was crowded with people coming to take the last chance to see all the barons that have been on display at various locations throughout the city during the summer, which are now going to be sold off to raise money for charities.
The panels haven't done them, someone's painted four panels. Yeah, it's more popular.
I don't really like girls anyway.
There has been a church situated in Stow even before the arrival of the Danes in 870. the year that they are documented to have burnt the church down and murdered the bishop. The building remained in ruins until an abbey was built in 1040, reputedly by Bishop Ednoth II. Dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary, Stow Parish Church, sometimes referred to as the Mother Church of Lincolnshire, is one of the largest and oldest parish churches in England. It is partly Saxon and partly Norman. It has the tallest Saxon arches of its time in Britain. It is said to have been refounded and re-endowed in 1054 by Leofric, encouraged by Bishop Wulfric. In 1091, Bishop Remigius or Threkamp refounded it as an abbey and brought monks to it from Aylsham Abbey, describing the church as having been long time deserted and ruined. Within 5 years, his successor transferred the monks back whence they had come, and St Mary's had become a parish church. A font that is early English, standing on 9 supports with pagan symbols around its base. On the eastern side of the church you'll come across this elaborately carved Norman door, rather similar to the one at Lincoln Cathedral.
Guys, we're called the Fireflies, by the way. This is Ben to my right, and I'm called Daryl. Oh, rock on. We usually play Lincoln quite a lot. We've been on radio recently, and the song we're about to play in a minute, when I get my act together. Right, the song's called Live Like a Firefly, and we are the Fireflies.
Well, there we go, that wraps it up for this edition. Now remember, this is your video platform. If you have any ideas or topics or issues that you feel would be of interest to the people throughout the Lincoln district, then get in touch with me and I'll put it in the big picture.